Hey, what's going on, guys? Genesis here, coming at you with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels. The time has finally arrived. You guys have been asking for this deck, so I showed you my last Unchained deck. If you missed that, the link will be down below for you. Today we'll be showcasing off my Evil Twins Unchained deck. This deck is a straight upgrade to the last deck I showed you guys. So if you're looking for an upgrade to your Unchains, I highly recommend this deck for you. But before we get into the deck profile, I want to take a minute to thank you guys so much for all the support you've been showing on the series so far. That is why I have a challenge for you guys today. If we can get this video up to 10 likes, I will do a series of live matches with the deck, so you can get my thoughts and strategies for each matchup, and it'll give me a chance to show you guys some combos that you can do with the deck as well. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the deck profile. Alright guys, this is it. This is my Evil Twins Unchained deck. As you can see, it's a bit more expensive than the last deck, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So let's go over the monsters real quick here. So we are running a 43 card deck. Don't let that discourage you too much. We do lots of filtering thanks to the Unchained engine and the Live Twins as well now. And we also got Maxi to help balance that out too, you know, for refresh our hands. Yeah, so we're running 3 copies Maxi. Obviously, this card is busted. You know, with the amount of special summoning that can be done, this will either fill your hand up or just shut your opponents down pretty quick. We're running 3 copies of Live Twin Key. So while this card's face up on the field, each time an opponent's monster declares an attack, you gain 500 life points. Nice little side effect onto the card. Lily says that every time your opponent's monster attacks, they must pay 500 life points. So you gain 500 and your opponent loses 500. They both share the secondary effect as well. So if you normal summon or special summon either one of them once per turn, you can special summon the missing one. So if you summon Key and you have no monsters on your side of the field, you can special summon Lil. And if you have Lil and no monsters on the field, you can special summon Key. This is pretty much your main turn 1 play that you're going to be doing with the deck. You guys will see that in the showcase, and then this kind of just spirals off the deck from there, just with either one of these 2 cards. You're pretty much set if you get either one of these guys or any one of the spells to go with them. You're pretty much just good to go. You can sometimes just go straight into Goddess or more likely Abomination on just turn 1. The deck is a lot more consistent with getting out the 5s and the 4 this way, thanks to the Live Twins, which is a big improvement on the deck. So yeah, they share that both same effect there. Next, we have 1 copy of Ski Frost. So if you control a little monster, so the blue one here, you can special summon this unit from your hand, and then if it is in your drop, you can banish it, and you get to draw 1 card. I believe it's I don't use this one too. Once per turn, this is if it's added from yeah, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, you also get you can just banish that card and get to draw 1. It's not an effect I use a whole lot, but I've used it a couple of times there. Generally, this deck kind of excels better at going second, so that you can eat your opponent's monsters, and then generally at that point they're gonna want to try to replenish their hand because they'll most likely use up quite a bit, and that's where Frost comes in, just to give you a little extra draw. Next, we're running 3 copies. So, well, not 3 copies. I wish I was, but we're running 2 copies of Ash Blossom. If you have 3, I would recommend to run 3. Obviously, I'm still working on getting my 3rd one, so we've only got 2 for now. So obviously, it's Ash Blossom, pretty self-explanatory card. It's got a couple of different effects. So while it's in your hand, if your opponent goes to add a card from their deck, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and negate the effect, and then take out the card. Pretty self-explanatory. This is a pretty common card. I'm sure you guys have seen lots of it. Next, we're going into the Unchained boys here. So we got 3 copies of Unchained ROUGE. So while you control a card on the field and this card's in your hand, you can destroy 1 card on the field and then special summon this unit from your hand. Pretty much the best Unchained you're really going to get. This is your combo starter, so after you're done using your Live Twins and going into something crazy like your Abomination, or if your opponent was crazy, went first, and you can sometimes get a Goddess off, your Unchains can still, even after that, continue on, all thanks to Aru setting you off here. They all share the same effect as well here at the end. So if any of these Gaboyos here, so Aru, Rekka, or Sarama are destroyed on the field, you can special summon one of the Unchained, so Abomination or one of the other ones, straight from the deck, straight up to the field. So it makes them very sticky, very hard to deal with sometimes. Next, we're running 2 copies of Rekka. So while this card is face up on the field, quick effect, you can target a card and destroy it. Target one card on your side of the field that you control and destroy it. This is essentially to set off your traps, or you can attack, say, with Aru, and then you can attack with Rekka, use Rekka's effect to pop your Aru, and then special summon out an Abominable for a nice juicy 3k and a pop, you know? So your plays aren't over just because you attack and do a couple summonings. No, Rekka can help extend a few of them there. So we're running 2 copies for right now. Next, we're running 2 copies of Sarama. So this is going to be kind of one of your main combo pieces that kind of goes with Aru. I like doing Aru into like my prison, or preferably one of the traps, and then go Sarama to get it back. But Sarama's effect, so while this card's on the field, you can target one Unchained card in the graveyard, except itself. Then you can set it on the field. So let's you re-loop your trap cards, and then you get to target one card that you control and destroy it. So you get to set the card and then pop something that you have. So this lets you get it back, and then you generally what you'll do is say you'll play your Escape of Unchained, use your Aru to pop the Unchained, play your Sarama, and then just bring this card back, pop your Aru, and off you go. Next, we're running 1 copy of our Unchained Soul of Disaster. So while this card's on the field, against 300 attack for every Unchained in your graveyard. We're not going to read too much. I've gotten them up to be like, I think it was like 2,500 or something. But it's not as attack you're really going to worry about. So once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, and immediately after the effect resolved, you get to link summon. So generally, this is going to be your main way of getting your rages out, as well as some of your other pieces as well, because you can also get Anguish as well too by giving up 1 extra unit. But primarily, you're going to try to summon Rage by using your opponent's monster and your Unchained Soul of Disaster, and then that helps remove 1 option. You guys will see that in the showcase as well. I got one that we take out quite a few actually. We pretty much clear the board just by eating them, which is something that I think is really cool that the deck can do. Next, we're running 2 copies of Abominable Chained Soul. This is your main beat stick boy. You guys may remember from the last showcase. So when this card, one of the main things that I kind of actually noticed, let's stop for a second there. You can only special summon Abominable Unchained Souls once per turn. I noticed a couple of times where I would get him out, but his secondary effect won't activate. So I believe the way this card works from my testing is if you special summon him off of, say, Escape of Unchained, use Sarama or anything like that, his next effect, where if he is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, he special summons himself. Because you special summon him, I don't believe you actually get this part here, and I've noticed a couple times where he just won't come out, and I believe that's why. So that's just kind of one thing to keep in mind with this card. So if you do special summon him out and then you go to trade, he's not going to come back. You got to kind of give him a turn there, and then he can special summon himself using a secondary effect. If not, you're just gonna cancel him out and he's just gonna sit in the drop zone. Just something I kind of noticed there for you guys. So that's it for the monsters there. We're running a couple spell cards here. You guys remember 1 copy of Regeki. This one's given to you. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, just to help deal with back rows and Eldritch. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, because it can help continue with some of our plays, and we can loop in with our Evil Twins as well using Monster Reborn. Let's see, it's Monster Reborn, right? 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. This is one of our main fetch cards and combo pieces as well. So you can play the card and you can add 1 Unchained from your deck to your hand. If this card is set and destroyed by an effect, generally I'll use Aru or Sarama as well is really good for this. And then just destroy and send to the graveyard. You can special summon an Unchained monster straight from the deck. So this goes for your opponent as well, so you can play it down as bait, and then if they harp at you, or Lightning Storm, or even MST, if people are still playing those, it'll just give you a free pop, and you can generally get Abominable Unchained, and then you can discard a card using Abominable's effect Now that I noticed I didn't go over that. So when this guy is special summoned, you can discard 1 card and destroy 1 card on the field. Kind of the main reason you want to run him. He can intercept your opponent's plays and just take out the monsters that they're trying to summon. And that's kind of where the secondary effect of this, you know, playing it down as bait, you summon out your abominable, pop off their guy. That's something your opponent's got to figure out a new strategy. Next, we're running 3 copies of Secret Password. For the Evil Twins here, it's important that you run 3 copies of each of these. They're actually pretty important, but this is kind of one of our main fetch cards as well. So like I was saying, if you have 1 copy of Key or 1 copy of Lil, and then you get either Secret Password or Sunny Snitch here, you're pretty much just good to go. It's really easy to get your stuff started with these guys, which really helps out the deck. But Secret Password here, so when you play the card, you get to add 1 Live Twin or Evil Twin Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. Generally, you're going to use this to fetch out your Frost most of the time. Or if you have Frost and you have Secret, you're just going to fetch out either one of these 2. It doesn't really matter. And then you're still set to do off your place and go. If you control a EU monster or a little monster, you can add an Evil Twin. We don't run an Evil Twin. That's the big boy one. But there's no room for the deck, and I actually don't think it flows very well. So we're just using this just to fetch. We're using this to get our Sunny Snitch out. And then with our Sunny Snitch, we're going to use that to fetch out our Frost. So there's a little bit of a chain here. Sunny Snitch is actually a really good card I've been finding here. So when you play this card, it's a continuous spell, so you guys want to keep that in mind as well. You can use this in combo with your Aru as well, so you need a target on the field. So while this card is on the field, you can add a Live Twin monster from your deck to your hand. So like I was saying, you use Secret Password, use it to fetch your Sunny Snitch, then use that to fetch your Frost or your Lil, whichever you're missing. And then you can just spiral off from there. But while this card is on the field, if you control an Evil Twin monster, every time your opponent normals or special summons, you gain 200 life points, and they take 200 points of damage. So we've added a little bit of chip into the deck, thanks to our effects from both Klee and Lil, and then we have Sunny Snitch doing a little bit of damage. People are, from what I can tell, are actually very worried about this card most of the time, and it'll actually draw in a lot of fire from your opponent too, so that'll help protect some of your other cards, like say you played Call of the Grey face down or anything like that. So it's not too bad. It can draw off their effects, which is really good, and away from your monsters. Next, we're running 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Very important card because we want to protect our Key and our Lil. With this, you can shut down your opponent's Ash Blossoms. You can shut down their Max Cs as well, so that you can't get a bunch of plus off you and stop your combos. Just overall, it's really good, and I find it's very useful against Eldritch too. Once you get that guy into the drop zone, you can use this when they go to special. It boom, pop it out. You guys will see that. Spoiler alert, you guys will see that later. But yeah, 2 copies of that. It's just a really good card right now. We're running 3 copies of our Escape to the Unchained. We're running 3 copies of this, as this is kind of like our main tool for dealing with Eldritch and their skill drains and that, and specific cards that can really kind of hurt us like that. This deck does suffer from skill drain effect, so you have to be careful with that. You'll still get all of your Unchained effects, where if they're destroyed, they get to special summon another unit because that effect resolves in the graveyard. But this really shuts down things like your Disaster. It shuts down your Abominable as well because you can't pop off cards anymore. It shuts down your Rage so that you can't target anything. So we're really running this in tangent with our Harvey Feather Duster just to deal with back row a bit. I've contemplated putting in like some MSTs to help with that, but I find this is okay for most of the time. By the time your opponent does get that skill drain up, you probably have an Escape in the Unchained anyway, so you can just pop it off and then kind of just combo off of your units and then kind of continue your roll and ignore it kind of deal. Next, we're running 3 copies of Chamber of the Unchained. This is a Monster Reborn kind of trap card for us here, so while this card is face up, or not face up, but when you activate it, you can special summon a Chainmaster from your hand or your graveyard. And then if it is set, the card is destroyed, you can special summon an Unchained from your deck. So just like the monsters, this one can come back. I just realized we kind of skipped Unchained here. Escape of the Unchained. You can target one Unchained monster you control and one card on the field. Destroy both of them. So because your monster is being destroyed, it will trigger off your Unchained effect, so you'll just get a new monster anyway, so it doesn't hurt you. But with this, you can intercept opponent's play. Say they get a past your Soul of Rage, they get past your Goddess and all that. You can then use this just to nuke one of your guys, pop up one of theirs. Suddenly now you stop their play mid combo. You can use this to summon out your Unchained, discard a card, and off of just your trap, you've now popped off 2 of your opponent's cards, disrupting their turn. The deck's really good at disrupting your opponent, which is fantastic. And then we're running 1 copy of Imperial Order. Kind of more so testing this out. It's to help deal, like, once you've got your field set up, to help protect your units, you know, and it helps shut down a couple of decks too, like strikers and stuff like that. And you know, most decks need their spells, you know, so it overall, I've been getting some value off it. Plus, you know, if it is on the field and you're starting to get lower you're concerned, you can just use ROUGE or any one of your other Unchained units and just remove it, which is kind of a benefit as well. So you can control how long it's up for. Most decks, they would be kind of stuck with it. Once you flip your Imperial Order, you're stuck. You're getting dotted down by 700 every turn. Not Unchained. We can just get rid of it whenever we feel like, really. Which is a big bonus to the deck, you know, so then suddenly you can get access to your spell cards on your turn and then hopefully go for like gamers or whatever you need. If you need to make room in the deck though, I would definitely see about removing the card as well. If you're kind of tight, I'd say you could probably cut back as well from one of the chambers, since you're kind of more so using this to try to bring back your abominables or say your anguishes to try to get another chomp off on your opponent to eat their monster and perform another link. But I would definitely keep the 3 Escape of the Unchained just to help, like I said, deal with the skill drain and that. You can also cut back probably on 1 Rekka as well. Just, you know, kind of free up a little bit of space. I know some people might be concerned with 43. You know, you want to get it as close to 40 as possible, right? So if you remove one of there and then obviously this and this here, that frees up 3 cards for you, and then you can tech in 1 more Ash Blossom. You'll be running 41 cards, but you know, hey, it's better than nothing, right? So let's go over the extra deck here. This, just like the previous deck as well, has a ton of space in it. Very flexible here. This is just kind of what I'm running right now, playing around. But if you guys have some better choices, definitely tech them in, try them out. Do keep in mind though, this deck does lock you into Fiends, so you do have to watch that. Both your Key and your Lil, as well as your Disaster, will lock you into Fiends, but that's generally okay since everything in the deck is Fiends anyway, so we're not really dampened by it. So we're running 1 Xyz monster. We are running 1 Levier the Sea Dragon, mainly just because all of our Unchains here are level 3, so we can get it off pretty easily. And then it'll give us a chance to get back any of our monsters should they be banished in the level 4. So, you know, we can get our Saramas and stuff back and then continue to combo off. And, you know, just to help open plays. I don't use them a whole lot in the deck, so if you do want to free up some space, you can definitely cut this guy out for sure. Just keeping him in there for now because I really don't have anything in mind that I want to switch him out for. Next, we're running the Nightmare package right now, or at least what I have available to me. We're running 1 Nightmare Cerberus just to help deal with special summon monsters outside of, you know, if we weren't able to eat something and kind of getting later into the game, it'll help clear that out for you. We're running 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix as well, just to help deal with back row. We're running 2 copies of Soul of Rage. I really don't use 3 Souls of Rage. I really don't think I've ever had a chance. And there's plenty of ways to get him back into the deck too, if we wanted to try to summon him out. But since he is targetable by our Chamber of the Unchained, running 2 is fine. We're running 2 copies of Evil Twin Key. These are the newest additions to the extra deck and kind of the most important ones. So when this card is special summoned, if you control a little monster, you can draw 1 card, and then during your main phase, if you do not control a little monster, you can special summon 1 from your graveyard. So yeah, this little 2 here, as you can see, it'll lock you into Fiend still. But this is essentially your main combo between the 2 of these here. She will allow you Evil Twin Key. she will allow you to draw a card if you have another evil twin, I believe, or Lil on the board here. And then Lil says that if you have Cleo, you get to pop one card on the field. So very good. All you have to do really is you just have to remember to summon the one that you want to actually get the effect off of. You have to summon them first, and then you use the other one to bring them back. You guys will see me do the combo in the showcase afterwards, but essentially you'll use these ones here. You'll use your key and your Lil. You'll link summon into, say, your key here, and then you will get to use her effect. Since you're in your main phase, you don't have any monsters, you can special summon the Lil back, and then link again into your Lil. Use Lil's effect to special summon your in the drop zone key, and then boom, you get her effect off. You get to draw something. You got two, and then next thing you know, bam, you're in Abomination, and your opponent's like, yo, what just happened? It's really nice. You guys will see there. We're running 2 copies of Soul of Anguish. This card is really good for just kind of chopping out your opponent's field without too much trouble there. He's got the same effect as our Disaster, so while this card is face up, you can target one of your opponent's monsters. Immediately after the effect results, you can perform a link. So yeah, say your opponent's got something down that can't be destroyed by battle, you know, you can't destroy it with card effects, you know, something beefy. That's where this deck really shines, is it can remove those big monsters that sit in your way. You know, can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effect. These guys don't care, they'll just eat them, and it's awesome. Next, we're running 1 copy of Nightmare Griffin. So while this card is link summon, you can discard 1 card from your hand, and then you can target a spell or trap in the graveyard, set it on the field. So this will let you get your abominables in that back. You can get any, you know, Call of the Grave, stuff like that. It just lets you recycle some of your cards again. And then while it's face on the field, it acts as a skill drain. So when your opponent goes to activate the effect of a special summon monster, if they are not linked, it gets negated once per turn. Very good. I've been having some trouble kind of getting the effect. You guys will have to let me know down below in the comments if he needs to have a unit connected to him to get that effect off, because I've been having some trouble with it. I don't really get it. But it is good from what I understand. I mainly just been using him as kind of like the turn 1, so I think that's kind of the problem with him. Like I said, you guys will have to let me know down in the comments what I'm missing on him. Next, we're running 2 copies of Unchained Abomination, our main Unchained boss. You guys remember before, this card is absolutely nuts. So while he's on the field, if one of our cards is destroyed by a card effect, we can pop one of our opponent's card. If one of our Unchained destroys an opponent's monster in battle, we get to pop one of our opponent's card. And then every end phase, including yours and your opponent's, you get to pop a card just cuz. This guy just wrecks back row, which is fantastic, which is where the Imperial Order comes into play as well. If you can manage to get this down to help protect your Abomination, your opponent has no choice but to set all their stuff, and boom, he just gets rid of it for you. It's fantastic. He's one of the only ones, though, of the Unchained. You guys will notice here that all of these ones here, when they're destroyed, they let you special summon an Unchained from the deck. Abomination doesn't. He kind of ends the whole resummoning in that kind of chain. So you guys do have to keep that in mind after you do your big plays and you summon all your units. And once you do set on Abomination, you're not going to get any more units out, so you do have to be careful, you know, try to protect them a little bit, right? And then, of course, we have the Queen, boys. We have our Underworld Goddess of Closed World. Now, with this deck, you guys may remember back when I showed you guys the Unchained the first time, I did say that I had not been able to really get this card out consistently. Yeah, that's not a problem in this deck anymore. Yeah, between the Evil Twins now, this card we are able to get out turn 1, set it up, and, you know, if we face anything, you know, some big wall monster, it doesn't matter anymore. Goddess comes out, negates all the effects. Let's go over, I'll show you guys here. So it's got to be summoned up with 4 monsters, but just like our Soul of Rage and Soul of Anguish and our Disaster, we can use one of our opponent's monsters as link material with our Goddess. So yeah, it's actually not that bad. Going second with the deck is fantastic, because if your opponent does leave just one monster on the field and you get the full twin package, you can summon this thing out first turn using your opponent's monster, then go straight into your Unchained combo, get Abomination beside it, or even in most cases, as you guys have seen, we can just OTK them right there. So it's kind of crazy. She opens up a lot here for us. When this card is link summoned, you negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, so that is something to remember. She won't shut down anything that comes onto the field after her, but if they got some big beefy, say like Chaos Max, something like that out, and you need to shut down its effect where you can't be targeted, boom, she's got it for you. She also cannot be targeted with AoE effects. Any effects that are like that won't affect her. She has to be targeted directly herself, otherwise she just shuts them down. If your opponent goes to special summon from the graveyard once per turn, you can negate the effect as well. So this is really good for helping put a gate in front of your opponent, you know, not allowing them to special summon. So, you know, let's see, we get preferably ideal scenario would be Imperial Orders down, shutting down your opponent's spell cards. You got Abomination popping a card at the end of every turn, so even though they're setting monsters, I said back row whatever, it doesn't matter because we get to at least ping off one of those cards before they even have a chance to use it. And then we have Goddess that is currently shutting down access to their graveyard, hopefully a bit. So between all that and like rage on the field, you know, that's what you're going for. They special summon a monster, boom, you get to eat it with rage. So there's just a lot of things that this deck can put out that'll force your opponent kind of have to think about how they're going to get around it. Really loving this archetype. It's definitely my favorite so far. So all right guys, so that is going to be it for me on the deck. If you guys are enjoying the video, definitely let me know down below on what you guys would adjust in the deck. You know, like I said last time, guys, I'm sure your card collections are a lot better than my own. I'm still working on getting a couple of things here. Like I do want to try putting in the rest of the nightmare. So obviously Unicorn is another unit we can tech into the deck here as well. Maybe swap out the Levier and give us an option just to help remove other units as well. Plus it'll give our twins something good to go into. I would definitely recommend that. But like I said, you know, if you guys want some extra space too, you can definitely cut out one copy of Abomination. Like I said, you can cut back the Levier as well. And I mean, if you're really hurting, you could probably get away with one of the Anguishes as well. Just to help free in some space. I don't know what you guys, but you do have to remember though, this deck is going to lock you into Fiends, so be careful about what you add in, because you might actually lock yourself out of it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna let the showcase play out. Until next time guys, I'll catch you in the next one.